Hello and welcome to this video lesson talking about drop 2 voicings. It's a bit of a follow-up lesson from last time talking about chord melodies in jazz guitar. Now, what is a drop 2 voicing? The name is quite literal. Just like chord melodies, you combine a chord and a melody. In drop 2 voicings, you take a chord and you drop the second note from the top down an octave below. That's it. So let's take A minor 7 as an example. What notes do we have? We've got A, C, E, and G, and you can play it here. Now, count from the top, and the second note from the top would be E. Take this E and drop it an octave below. Keep the rest of the chord, so keep the rest of the notes, like A, C, and G. And you've got it. So why do we want to play these drop 2 voicings? Well, I could think of two main reasons. The first one being that the top note is more clear. So let's go back to the original stacking up of the chord, A, C, E, G. And if you look at the top note, which is G, it's not that far away from the note below it, which is E. It's only a flat third interval. But now, in a drop 2 voicing, if we moved the E down an octave, and then played the rest of the chord, now the G is further away from the next note below it. Now it's C, which is a fifth apart. So that's the point, because G is now a bit clearer, a bit more on its own, in that it's further away from the next note below it. And the second reason why we want to play these drop 2 voicings is because a lot of these shapes are easy to play on the guitar. And bear in mind, we have to involve a lot of inversions. Okay, so an inversion is basically when you have 1, 3, 5 in a chord, you move those numbers around and have 3, 5, 1, let's say. That's one type of inversion. So in this case, because there are 4 notes in the chord, there are 4 different ways to arrange them, to align the notes. And in a minute, you'll see how these inversions are played, and that it's quite easy to play on the guitar. Also, bear in mind that the guitar is not as linear an instrument as the piano is. What do I mean by that? So on a piano, if you wanted to play A, C, E, G, there's only one way to play it. Whereas on the guitar, there are a few different ways to play the same notes, like this. I can play the same notes here on different string sets. So how do we find these drop 2 voicings? Well, I've already shown you the method that I used, which is laying out, stacking up the chords. This time we're going to work almost in reverse. So let's take the same chord, A minor 7, with the A on top, on the first string here. Just go down the arpeggio for me. So we've got A, G, E, and C. So the second note from the top would be G. Let's move that note an octave lower. Keeping the rest of the chord, C, E, A. That's how you play an A minor 7 drop 2 voicing with the root on top. How do we find the next inversion up? So we do that by looking at the next chord tone higher, which is going to be C, our flat third of the chord. And do the same thing. Have the arpeggio go down from there. C, A, G, E. And then the second note from the top, which is A, just move that down an octave, whilst keeping the rest of the chord. So that's the A minor 7 drop 2 voicing with the C on top, with the flat third on top. Fifth on top, okay, E on top, G on top, which is the flat 7. And that's the same as the one we did right at the start. So I hope that gave you a better understanding of the idea of using drop 2 voicings, especially for chord melodies in jazz guitar. I'll see you next time. Cheers.